So I think it's 10 o'clock here, and I think we'll go ahead and get started. Is that okay with everyone, or should we wait for a little longer? Can you hear me?
Here and
Okay. So, Om Namo Dhanvantri, Dhanvantri Namo Namah, Jai Ayurved. So, on behalf of AAP, American Association of Ayurvedic Professionals, it gives me a great honor, privilege to welcome all of you, all the esteemed panelists here, and all the uh, audience, people who are joined us from all over, especially from India. Thank you so much. We are very grateful that you are all here. So American Association of Ayurvedic Professionals has 4 parts. Chatushpad, we say. One is to bring everyone together, to unite all the Ayurvedic professionals for advancement of authentic Ayurvedic medicine, based and focused on highest standards of healthcare, clinical training, and research. We want to collaborate. We want to collaborate with our partners from all over the world, all over the country, and the allied organizations and institutions to spread the wisdom and the healing of authentic Ayurvedic medicine. We also want to empower the 6,000 plus hours of training which our authentic Ayurvedic professionals do with the BMS, whether MD Ayurveda or PhD Ayurveda. So we want to help them and enhance their professional practices and to educate. And that's our 4th part, is to educate and advance, have programs, offer programs like what we're doing today, for continuing education of to the AAP members and areas of authentic Ayurveda in clinical practice, and also to help them in managing the business. I think people do have a lot of knowledge, but unless you have the business skills and legal knowledge and ethical wisdom, it's very important to have that foundation. So that's what we try to do with AAP. And I want to invite you all from the bottom of my heart to this workshop today of celebrating the Ayurveda Day. Also, I want to invite you all to join up. We are offering free membership till the end of the year. So please do consider joining our association and be a part of it. And Ayurveda, as we all know, is such an important part plays an important part in public health. Having done my master's in public health in health promotion sciences, it was a revisitation to learn the Swasthya principles and all the principles of Ayurveda we learn in the public health. So it's such an important role. I think if we have a strong role of Ayurveda in our public health, we'll have such a better control of our lifestyle diseases, which we are seeing more and more. And I think Ayurveda Day should not be just one day. Ayurveda Day every day should be an Ayurveda Day. Every day should be an Ayurveda Day. Every moment, if you bring that wisdom of life in so I think every day should be Ayurveda Day. And then we'll have a much better public health outcomes. I hand over now to Dr. Vaidya Deepa Bhatt, our dynamic, very active, very proficient Dr. Deepa Bhatt, who is the Secretary and Treasurer of AAP, to take over from here. She is the founder of Sangeet Sammohan Pathshala. She is also an graduate of Ayurvedic medicine surgery. She has a master's degree in Panchkarma. She studied directly under Padma Shri Professor Gurdeep Singh. She's certified in Nadi Vigyana, and also she's a yoga teacher. So hats off to you, Dr. Deepa Bhatt, thank you so much for being such an important part of AAP. On to you.
Thank you, Amit, for the beautiful introduction. Once again, namaste, everyone. A warm welcome to you all. I would like to take a moment to introduce our esteemed board of directors, whose guidance and expertise is very valuable to our organization. Please join me in welcoming our own president, Dr. Amit Guman, our vice president, Vaidya Meenakshi Gupta, secretary and treasurer myself, Vaidya Deepa Bhatt, board of directors, Dr. Shanmugamurthy Lakshmanan, and board of director, Vaidya Gauri Junakar. We, the entire board, thank you all so much for being with us here to celebrate Ayurveda Day, a day dedicated to honoring one of the world's oldest holistic healing system, Ayurveda, which is a treasure trove of ancient wisdom that continues to inspire and heal. It is celebrated on the day of Dhanvantri Jayanti, the day of incarnation of Bhagavan Dhanvantri himself, the god of Ayurveda. We celebrate Ayurveda Day as it holds a very significant, important role for several reasons. It could be preserving ancient wisdom, commemorating Lord Dhanvantri, promoting global awareness, integrating Ayurveda with modern science. It could be fostering environmental sustainability or inspiring our future generations. With this, let us start Ayurveda Day celebration with invoking blessings for this event with a Dhanvantri prayer. I would request everyone to join me for the prayer of Lord Dhanvantri for giving us the gift of Ayurveda and bless all of us with a lot of happiness and good health. If you would like, you can close your eyes. Om Namami Dhanvantarim Adidevam Surasure
Surasure
Vandita
Vandit
Padapadmam
Padmam
Loke
Loke
Jaradvaya
Jayan
Mrityunasham Dhataramisham Vividaushadhinam Dhanvantarim Ramanatam Sarvaroganivarakam Ayurveda Pravataram Vande Piyushadayakam Vande Piyushadayakam Vande Piyushadayakam. Slowly open your eyes. Hope you all enjoyed praying together. I would like to introduce our fantastic moderators next, who will be leading today's panel discussion. First up, we have Vaidya Meenakshi Gupta, an internationally renowned Ayurveda practitioner, classically trained Vaidya, and a holistic practitioner. Along with her, we have Vaidya Gauri Junakar, who is also a classically trained Vaidya, a registered dietitian, and a certified diabetes educator. A warm welcome to both of you, and over to you, ladies.
Thank you so much, Vaidya Deepa. First of all, welcome to all, and welcome to all esteemed panelists. Our first panelist is Dr. Professor Ramakant Yadav. It is both a privilege and a true honor to introduce my teacher, Dr. Ramakant Yadav, sir. His more than 30 years of dedication to Ayurveda and his profound impact as a mentor, researcher, and physician have shaped not only my journey, but the path of many in our field. Dr. Yadav is a highly regarded Ayurvedic physician, professor, and researcher with over 3 decades of experience in the field of Ayurvedic medicine. He holds several qualifications, including PMS, MD, PhD, Diploma in Yoga, Sir is a professor in the Department of Kai Chikitsa, where he specializes in geriatric disorders, joint diseases, rejuvenation therapy, and lifestyle diseases. Dr. Yadav has an impressive academic records with 45 publications in reputable journals and 3 authored books. His mentorship of emerging scholars demonstrates his commitment to advancing Ayurveda. He has guided 4 PhD candidates and 60 MD students. Recognized for his contribution to the field, he has received numerous awards, including the Best Teacher Award, Ayurveda Matryan, Ayurveda Shodh Vibhuti, and Ayurveda Seva Shamanam. A sought-after speaker, Dr. Yadav has delivered over 100 guest lectures at national and international forums, sharing his insights and expertise to increase global awareness of Ayurveda. Dr. Yadav's dedication to Ayurveda inspires us all, especially his students. Please join me in welcoming him to the panel. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Meenakshi.
Our next panelist is Dr. Vaidya Sudip Kumar Rath. It is an honor to introduce Dr. Rath, a renowned figure in Ayurveda with over 2 decades of research and academic excellence. Vaidya Rath is a professor and head of the PG department of Dravya Guna, NIA Jaipur. He has done his MD and PhD in Dravya Guna from Jaipur. He is also the Dean of Faculty of Interdisciplinary Courses, in charge of Drug Discovery and Developmental Unit, Quality Control Lab, IT Department of NIA, and coordinator of Intermediate Pharmacovigilance Center of Ministry of Ayush. Vaidya Rath is an expert member of WHO Standard Terminology Committee and the Ayurveda Pharmacopoeia Committee. He has a strong professional background with over 15 years of experience in postgraduate teaching and 20 years of experience in research. Vaidya Rath has published over 100 scientific articles in peer review and index journal, and he has guided more than 30 PhD and MD scholars in the past decade. Dr. Rath's expertise, especially in Dravya Guna and pharmacovigilance, has profoundly shaped the industry and future scholars. Please join me in welcoming him to the panel. Welcome, Dr. Rath.
Thank you, Dr. Gupta.
So I'm going to go ahead and introduce the next set of panelists over here. First is Dr. Anupama Kizhike-Vettil. So Dr. Anupama Kizhike-Vettil is a classically trained Vaidya. She holds a PhD in public health. She's a licensed acupuncturist, a certified yoga therapist, and professor researcher and founding program director of Ayurvedic medicine at Southern California University of Health Sciences. She's also the co-founder of Atreya Ayurvedic Integrative Health Center and Herbs. She has served as a co-principal, investigator, and advisor for NIH-funded research studies. She was invited to attend the World Health Organization International Expert Consulting Meeting in 2019 and 2020, and served as reviewer for WHO ICD-11 Traditional Medicine Beta Draft for Ayurvedic Medicine. She serves on the board of directors of California Association of Ayurvedic Medicine, National Ayurvedic Medical Association, and Ayurvedic Accreditation Commission. She's a chair-elect for American Public Health Association's Traditional Complementary and Integrative Health Section Group. Vaidya Anu is a big advocate of Ayurveda and the advancement and its advancement, and has received several awards for her work on Ayurveda and complementary and alternative medicine. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Anupama Kizhike-Vettil. Our next panelist is Dr. Suhas Shetty. Dr. Suhas Kumar Shetty holds an MD in Ayurveda and PhD in Ayurveda. He's an academician, researcher, administrator specializing in mental health, research methodology, and medical statistics. He is currently the principal and medical director at KLE Academy of Higher Education and Research, Kahir's Shri B.M. Kankanawadi Ayurveda Mahavidyalaya, Belgavi, and was formerly the professor and head Department of Manovidyan Evam Manasroga, Ayurveda Psychology and Psychiatry, and Dean Research and Development at the Sri Dharmashala Manjunath Manjunatheshwara, SDM College of Ayurveda and Hospital, Hassan, India. He also serves as an adjunct faculty at the Southern California University of Health Sciences, California, USA. He is an internationally invited speaker, has authored 3 books and more than 72 scientific articles in various international peer-reviewed journals, and is on editorial and review board of many scientific journals. He is a recipient Congruent Grant Award from a CCRS, New Delhi, Pratibha Pushkara Award, Bhikshak 2018, Best Doctor Award, Teacher of the Year 2021 Award, Best Paper Presenter Award at various seminars and conferences. He's a sought-after technical expert in national and international policy documents, WHO, CCIM, and CCRAS meetings. Please help me in welcoming Dr. Subhash Shetty to our wonderful Ayurveda event today. So after this, we're going to start with our questions for all our panelists. Our first question goes to Dr. Subhas under integrative and healthcare models. How do you envision Ayurveda being integrated with modern medical systems to create an unified healthcare model? What are the benefits and challenges of such integration for public health?
Thank you, Vaidya Gauri, for this wonderful opportunity. Namaste, all of you, and very happy to be a part of this discussion being organized by the American Association of Ayurvedic Physicians, AAAP, and it's truly a great honor to be a part of this panel discussion. I think we are moving towards an era where we are looking towards the one health, one globe, and the entire family coming together for the best interest of the public. And in this way, probably the best of the systems, maybe from the contemporary science, Ayurveda, homeopathy, nursing, everything probably should come together and see that we are able to help the people. And in this, various newer initiatives have been taken, and we are also a part of this very newer initiative that is taken by Government of India, as well as various other organizations. In fact, we are closely located in a very prime location where we have as you know, that ICMR, the Indian Council for Medical Research, has 27 centers across India. And among these 27 centers, there is only one center which is exclusively dedicated for traditional medicine. And we are very lucky that this happens to be in Belgaum, where I'm placed at present. So we have this center for the Indian Council for Medical Research called as NITM, the National Institute of Traditional Medicine, where we are trying to integrate various types of research in terms of fundamental research, clinical research, drug research, etc. And as a part of various newer initiatives, in fact, in next month on 18th, 19th, and 20th, we are conducting a very big proposal writing workshop in collaboration with ICMR and our institution, where we have invited 25 teams consisting of a modern doctor and an Ayush doctor who will be coming as a team with their draft, and they'll sit together for 3 days and then probably develop some protocols which can be used to apply for various funding agencies. So really, these are very welcome initiatives that we are looking forward with so much of emphasis being paid by the Department of Health Research as well as the Ministry of Ayush. I think that these are really good where we can integrate the best of things. The biggest challenge that we have is about having openly coming forward for this collaboration, because we always think as each other's competitions, or there's always very less cross dialogues happening among the different streams. Rather than looking as competitors, we should look as complementary to each other, helping each other in the best interest of the society as well as public. I think we definitely would take this initiative a long way and looking forward for such wonderful initiatives. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Suhat, for your wonderful insights. My next question is for Dr. Ramakant Yadav. Under public health initiatives, Ayurveda has a rich history of preventive healthcare. What public health initiatives based on Ayurveda have shown promise in reducing the incidence of chronic diseases? How can these be integrated into existing public health systems?
Thank you, Dr. Gauri. And first of all, I would like to extend my thanks to all the officials of AAP for having me for this panel discussion. And I'm really grateful to you all. And the question you have asked regarding the public health initiatives, I think that is the need of the hour, because in the country like India, where the population is much higher than rest of the many parts of the world. So it is now a duty of each and every physician, whether it is from any discipline, as our earlier speaker has also said. So integration is needed, and Government of India is also planning to such type of studies. In recent past, we have got some projects from our Ayush Ministry, and out of that projects, there were in the RCH, that is reproductive child health care, and one is about the oral health among awareness among children, and one was uh, for the mental health care through Ayurveda. And one project which I have handled was musculoskeletal pain management through Ayurveda regime. So there were good initiatives on the part of government, and they have really given us the opportunity to, and we have adopted many parts addition to our institute. And you can be you will be really surprised that in each project we have screened more than 20 to 30,000 patients. And as far as my project was concerned, like musculoskeletal, we have registered 1,500 patients after screening about 25,000 patients. So such type of initiatives are being taken at the part of government, and we are extending our services. And we found that many places are there, especially in the remote areas, where availability of physician is less, or availability of modern doctor is less, and patients are not having proper, you can say, infrastructure of hospital or something like that. So there these camps of public health initiatives are very helpful. We have organized many camps. We also organize educational lectures also. So such type of initiatives have been taken by the government, and with the reach among the public, we found that when they start our medication, you can say, or you can say in many parts of the world, Ayurveda medicines are not really used as medicines, but at our Indian circumstances, it is used as a medicine also. So public uses that and getting benefit of all that. So I think such type of activities has to be extended in more and more scenarios. So you will find, and there are very promising results as far as we have concerned. About we have done about 10 to 15 musculoskeletal disorders. Out of that, major were like rheumatoid arthritis was there, osteoarthritis was there, and especially gout was there. So such type of major disorders are also there. So we have given our medications to them, and they have got relief. So I think this kind of public health initiatives are really need of the hour, because any pathy alone cannot tackle all the health you can say hazards of the public. So it is really need of the hour for this kind of public health initiatives. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ramakant Yadav, for your wonderful insights. My next question is for Dr. Rath under drug discovery and development. How does Ayurveda approach drug discovery and development differently from modern pharmaceutical methods? Could you explain the role of computer-assisted drug discovery and how it is being used in the context of Ayurveda?
Thank you, Dr. Gauri, for an appropriate question for me. And at the outset, I thank all the organizers for actually giving me an opportunity to have an interaction with you. This is a very interesting and also very pertinent question in this contemporary era when new drug discovery has become a challenge also for the contemporary science. As the time passes, the number of discovery for annum is going down. At that time, how we are going to contribute as a system of medicine to the drug discovery process, because we acknowledge that any solution to any healthcare is a contribution to public, and the system of knowledge doesn't actually play a very major role in that. Any system can contribute to that. The first thing that I have been working in this field for 15 years, and we have an infrastructure which starts from computer assisted drug designing till preclinical and clinical trial also. And the basic idea behind actually erecting the infrastructure in-house is that when we went out to outsource or collaborate with other institutions which were working in this field, is that we were not able to actually communicate in the scientific framework what we understand and what we expect them to do. So we thought it's better to we monitor everything and we control everything. The first challenge is that nothing in Ayurveda is a drug. Everything is a drug product. If you say even Tinospora cordifolia powder, it is not a drug. Drug is the active pharmaceutical ingredient in that. Whereas in Tinospora, maybe the tinosporin is the active pharmaceutical ingredient. That is another point of debate. But there are so many other components that is coming along with the tinosporin into the Tinospora cordifolia powder. So even WHO in 2009 published a document where they acknowledged that chemical purification and targeting a single molecule in anything, particularly in context of traditional medicinal used herbs, it should not be the target. So what we are trying to do, that designing and developing a drug or a medicine is separate, and to understand how it works is separate. So to understand and do mechanistic studies, we may go for the conventional pharmacological what we call discovery process and the research process. But while designing, we must acknowledge the moment you start purifying any herb, then you are increasing the risk of the side effect. So in our drug discovery and development unit, we target that to understand how it works, we'll go for chemical purification and target the molecule. But while designing, we will try our best not to actually isolate or in other words, to fractionate anything. It is better to mix and use for the patients. In the last 7 years, the most notable contribution that we have had, we tried to design and develop an antihypertensive formulation. Then in the first stage, we realized that all the antihypertensive persons are not alike. There are people who have some Vata dominance. There are people who have some Pitta dominance also. So that means one formulation cannot address the entire antihypertensive people. So right now we are at the last stage of clinical trial of those two formulations, and we are getting good results, and we also now understand how it works. And I would like to share with the panelists is that usually the antihypertensive solutions that Ayurveda or any traditional medicine offers through these natural products, they work in multiple pathways of the pathogenesis. Unlike the modern pharmaceutical drugs, where something is actually diuretic or something is ARB blocker or something is calcium channel blocker. Most of the times we come across in our medicines, almost all medicines are actually targeting all the pathways in with one single formulation. So that's why when we can prescribe this one single medicine all across the anti-hypertensive, sorry, hypertensive population, and we are getting results. Only one segregation we had to do, that to see whether the pitta is the major factor in causing the hypertension or vata is causing the major hypertension. And to break it down for a understanding level of common or say the contemporary scientist, usually the age group decides if the patient is less than 50 years and they are having some hypertensive issues, pitta usually plays the dominant role or the leading role. So in that case, we have to go for the anti-hypertensive solution, which is targeting the pitta dominance patients. And more than 50 years, usually the vata predominance is there. But I understand that every time it is not the same on parameters of age. And the computer assisted, I mean, what is the role of computer assisted drug designing? It is that we sometimes want to understand how my medicine is working. So in that case, we go for a thorough processing and see what could be the possible receptors that my medicines are targeting. And both Meenakshi is my friend and Ramakant sir is my senior. It sometimes it throws up a lot of information which is actually very difficult also to infer which receptor is my medicine is targeting. But at least it gives an idea. When I subjected my antihypertensive solutions to the throughput system, it showed that it is targeting at least 5 receptors. One is angiotensin receptor blocking mechanism, and it is also causing some diuresis, and it is also causing some calcium channel blockage mechanism. So all the receptors we have to study now, and it takes a lot of time to study all those things. I mean, you should all appreciate that even to develop a modern antihypertensive targeting single pathway of disease pathogenesis, it takes them 10 years. And my medicine is targeting 5 to 6 receptors. So it takes a lot of time to actually understand how it is working. And we are getting success. We got some success in cancer studies also. We got some success in anti-diabetic solutions also. And one other target that we are working is that all the skin diseases problem, there are many types of skin diseases, and we are targeting that. We are getting some sort of indicative leads, which could be scientifically placed before the globe for solutions. And my last word in this is that we have to somehow or other convince the world that extracting or isolating or extrapolating a molecule out of a natural product based drug is actually not the sensible way to go about it. It is better to use the whole drug. You can standardize up to some extent so that the drug delivery is standardized. But if you target that, to isolate that, then you take the risk of causing a side effect also. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rath, for your amazing insights. And our next question is for Dr. Anupama under Public Health Policy Studies. What role do public health policy studies play in integrating Ayurveda into national healthcare systems? Can you provide examples where Ayurveda has influenced health policies at the national or regional level?
Thank you. Thanks, Dr. Gauri, for that introduction. And as well as I wanted to express my thank you to AAAP for the invitation. And for me, it's a great honor to be part of this panel session. And to come back to this question, so I would say public health policy studies are very much crucial for integrating Ayurveda into the national healthcare system, because they're going to provide the necessary evidence as well as framework and recommendation for guided decision making. So if we At present, there's nothing specific to Ayurveda happening in US because Ayurveda is still not into the mainstream of healthcare practice yet in US. But the policy studies can evaluate the efficacy of Ayurvedic practice, and it can provide the data that demonstrate the potential benefit in preventing as well as management of the diseases. And also these policy level studies can provide the framework for framework development, because this can provide the practice, it can support the regulatory framework, which we don't have a standardized regulatory framework for Ayurveda. So these type of studies can provide the information regarding that. And also research can identify the successful model for the integration between Ayurveda and conventional medicine. There are so many integrative models are coming, but we need to identify what will be that successful model when conventional medicine with Ayurveda, or what is that best integrative model which can deliver. And that can, once we identify the model, then we can bring that as a policy level changes, right? And another important thing, I would say, cost effectiveness analysis, very, very important. There are so many cost effective analysis studies are happening in chiropractic, and slowly, recently we received actually at SCU $1.7 million grant looking at acupuncture, and one of the component of the study is also looking into the cost effectiveness. But there's nothing happening in the field of Ayurveda yet, but these are the model, what can the policy level study can bring, and what will be the best integration model. And public awareness and acceptance is another thing I would say policy level studies can bring. So it can highlight the public perception and awareness of Ayurveda, informing the communication strategies to promote the integration and support among the population. And another one which is very important, I think, curriculum changes for medical education, because most of the medical schools now included Ayurveda or complementary alternative medicine as part of their selective or elective curriculum. And many of the medical education now, it's requiring, medical school require a mandatory part, but still not everybody's following. In US, I'm saying, I'm not sure in India it's happening or not, but actually at present, I'm teaching a couple of medical doctoral program students Ayurveda. It's not preparing them to be an Ayurvedic practitioner, but they have a better understanding about what is Ayurvedic medicine and appreciate the integrative approaches. So if we can conduct a policy like research study, which bring the benefit of the this type of curriculum changes, and then we can implement as a policy level changes. And then there was second part of the question, right? Can you please repeat the second part of that question? You asked an example, right? How Ayurveda has influenced the health policies. I don't think we have anything in US yet. Health Freedom Act is not a policy, which is that one we have now, which allow the safer practice of Ayurveda, but it's not a policy. But I know in India, there is Ayushman Bharat. That is one of it is actually provide the accessible healthcare, including the traditional healthcare system like Ayurveda. So it's not just for the Ayurveda, but all the Ayush system. And then another one, national health policy in 2017, and that is also another, the policy acknowledged the use of the traditional system, including Ayurveda, promoting the public health and well-being. Then WHO initiatives are the other part, I would say, which just came as a policy level kind of. So the WHO has recognized the importance of the traditional healthcare practice. They have given a lot of benefit when it comes to the traditional healthcare practice, including this part of them, and providing the guidelines for practice, providing the guidelines of education, and all. WHO has taken a major initiative, I would say. And also traditional medicine strategies. There is something called Traditional Medicine Strategies 2014 to 2023. The year I'm not, that's how it's called it like that itself. The year may be wrong, I'm not sure, sorry. But this is also another initiative, it is adopted the strategies to promote our traditional medicine practices. So in summary, I would say, public health policy studies are very much crucial for integrating Ayurveda into the national healthcare system, because it can provide the necessary evidence, it can provide the necessary framework and recommendation to guide the decision-making process. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Anupama. And I would like to hand over the next set of questions to Vaidya Meenakshi Gupta.
Thank you, Vaidya. Welcome again. My next question is to Dr. Suhas. This is regarding the preventative medicine and wellness programs. Preventative healthcare is the key strength of Ayurveda. Dr. Suhas, what are some examples of wellness programs or preventative initiatives from Ayurveda that can be scaled globally? And how can we ensure wider adaptation of these programs?
Thank you, Meenakshi ji. I think Ayurveda has a great potential, as we always mention in the preventive healthcare system. And probably the few of the initiatives that which can be really scaled up at the global level. One recently under the able leadership of our newly Minister of Ayush, Pratap Ji Jadhav, he has initiated a program called as Desh Ka Prakriti Parikshan, where they're trying to probably assess the Prakriti of more than maybe 10 million people, where they're trying to do the assessment. And then based on that, probably giving them some primary advices. And this will be coordinated through the entire state as well as the central government, and each of the district as well as each of the state have been identified. And in fact, I have been given the responsibility of being the co-coordinator for the state of Karnataka, where we are going to coordinate with all the Ayurveda institutions in probably creating awareness among the common public and trying to assess. So the IGIB, the Institute of the Genetics and Biology in Delhi, has helped us to provide or make this app where they're doing the Prakriti assessment will be done, which is validated. And this will be done through help of various Ayurvedic institutions. I think this will be a great initiatives in probably identifying the Prakriti and helping people in knowing their diet, lifestyle, and how they should be able to take care of their health. At the same time, various other initiatives that can be done, especially in terms of Dinacharya and Ritucharya, are the very good areas where we can really help people. Because if you look at the whole different modalities that is lined up in Dinacharya, you can see that it is addressing important sense organs, the whole like different parts of the body to take care of ourselves. So that is where probably there is therapies for eyes, there is therapies for ear, nose, there are Gandusha, Kavala, which will be good for the dental as well as oral hygienes. So if like a long population-based studies can be done on this and generate some good evidences, I think these are very good models for application at the global level. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Suhas, for highlighting the importance of Prakriti also in this. In today's words, where lifestyle diseases are prevalent, and integrating these wellness programs, especially related to Prakriti and Dincharya, seems more crucial than ever. Could you expand a bit on how community can adopt? One thing is the Ayush is doing so many programs, but how we can make sure that the communities can adopt these Ayurvedic wellness practices on a daily basis? And are there any simple, impactful changes they can start with for the common man?
See, I think this is very, very important that whatever we are telling, probably we could generate some basic evidences in terms of these practices. Like, for example, doing Abhyanga or doing Karnapurna or Nasya, or doing Kavala Gandusha. I think to begin with, based on which are the organs that they are susceptible with. Like, for example, a person who is having a lot of exposure to the computers or screen can use some therapies to take care of the eyes. Those are working near where there is a lot of sounds, a lot of hearing issues. They can do the Karnapurnas, or those who are maybe allergic or have some recurrent respiratory infections. So they could adopt the Pratimashanasya, or as I said, the Kavala Gandusha can be practiced. So based on their susceptibility or risk that they have, we can definitely do some very good practice. And but for this to happen, probably some basic large scale data, if they're available by doing some community based studies, would definitely be helpful. That is what probably is one of the initiatives that is taken care by the Ministry of Ayush now, in probably generating a very big data in terms of Prakriti, and then probably stratifying the data into different domains, and helping them to follow these advices.
Thank you so much, Dr. Suhas. My next question is to our panelist, Dr. Ramakant sir. What are the key benefits of integrating Ayurveda with modern medicine, particularly in the management of non-communicable diseases like diabetes and cardiovascular issues? And can you give us some examples of successful integrated care models as well? Dr. Ramakant.
Okay. I think this question is very relevant, and you can see that before 3 or 4 decades ago, there was a period of infective diseases. And as the world gradually developed very fast, and many, you can say, things which are going for the benefit of mankind, and also made the every human being, they have made little bit of you can say relaxed at every point. Their physical activities and everything is slowed down, and also the food habits have greatly changed since last couple of decades. So this has resulted into NCDs, non-communicable diseases, and they are also known as lifestyle disorders in at times. But their most concern is about the non-communicable disease, like metabolic syndrome is there, like diabetes mellitus is there, right? Many, even hypertension, or you can say name any disease that is related to you can say faulty lifestyle. So this is really, and in this plane, in this juncture, our use of Ayurveda is really important. As our earlier panelist has said, that the following the principles of Dincharya, Ritucharya, these are already mentioned in Ayurvedic text. Similarly, and as far as we are concerned, we are more related to hospital and clinical setup. So what we used to do, that we divide our management into 3 parts, like Ahar, Vihar, and Aushad. So first of all, we try to examine the patient, and try to get his diet and all the lifestyle corrected. So the Ahar and Vihar part is our prime focus. When it is not tackled by that, we are going for the medication. So this is the way by which we are, you can say, tackling the patients of different lifestyle disorders. And especially, we can say that in recently, we have developed a protocol for the diagnosis of Madhumeh, as we call it. You can say that is type 2 diabetes mellitus also, you can say, or you can also say Prameha in general. So Prameha is a kind of type 2 diabetic disorder. So we have prepared a kind of protocol that was earlier coined by Government of India, but later on that was refined and again, it has now become a kind of standard type of treatment protocol for our institute. And also we are going to circulate our different parts of the world, so that most of the people are going to use that, and so that we will get a lot of data also, and also merits and demerits of that protocol also. So number one, and number two, we have also developed, you can say, prakriti based protocols. Transdisciplinary, we have developed a protocol for the management of diabetes, in which we have developed a kind of software based on the prakriti and all that symptomatology of madhumeh. So we have not deviated from the basic principles of Ayurveda. So also we are trying to incorporate latest techniques to our management plan, and we have ultimately came with a kind of software that will give instant result when you apply the symptoms and all that. That will give you a instant result. So technology we are also adopting, modern tools we are also and getting more and more, you can say, evidence we are trying to generate, and we have all the data secured by our you can say hospital. We have all the data as far as diabetes is concerned. We are having around more than 40 50 45,000 patients data. As far as musculoskeletal disorders are concerned, like non-communicable, like rheumatoid arthritis, and that, we are having more than 20,000 patients data. So such type of data we are trying to generate. And also one more thing is very important regarding management of such type of disorder is, as a, it is now a mandate of our country that सबका प्रगति परीक्षण एक this is a kind of you can say statement of our ministry now, and by this program we are going to target all the population, maximum about 10 crore individuals. I think they will be by approached, and that will give a kind of data generation. And there are institutes, as Dr. Suhas Shetty has also said, like IGIB, they are doing genomic study and integrative biology. So that will help a lot. And in this way, there is, you can say, a collective approach, not only medicine part, not only herbs, but lifestyle also, and integration of yoga, naturopathy, and many other things are also simultaneously incorporated. And that will give a kind of better result in the NCDs. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It is interesting to know that how the Ayurveda care is transferring towards the disease management from the preventative also, which is the core concept of preventative as well as disease management. Because in the Western world, we see that mostly comes under the preventative, not the disease management. Not many people are aware that we have the scientific data to sustain that validity of that Ayurveda can work as a preventative model as well as the disease management. My next question is to Dr. Rath, but before that, I would like to request all the panelists, please keep your answer to 1 or 2 minutes only. Dr. Rath, what are the challenges in clinically validating Ayurvedic drugs using modern scientific methods, and how we can overcome these challenges to make Ayurvedic medicines more widely accepted in global healthcare? Dr. Rath.
I have one point in your question itself, that sometimes the term modern scientific methods actually masks certain things, that even this randomized double-blind placebo-controlled trials as accepted as the current scientific method, but but in any way it doesn't discredit. If it is not randomized, then it cannot be a trial. any scientific method, any scientific trial has its own challenges. The most the most challenge that we face in Ayurveda is that while replicating our way of treatment, this is a multi-ball juggling kind of activity that we are doing, where we are assessing the patient, his or her symptoms. Then we have to assess what is his or her prakriti and where he is residing. Then what is his diet pattern? So many things we are assessing, and to replicate all those things in a clinical trial is almost next to impossible if you are thinking of keeping every variable constant and just allowing one variable to go, to allow one variable to remain variable. That is the most important challenge or the most difficult challenge that we are facing in clinical trials. And WHO has acknowledged that fact. That's why the black box mechanism and all those things have cropped up. So, while conducting clinical trials, we, at least in NIA, emphasizes that whatever is the treatment module, it has to be done there. We cannot expect that one patient who is suffering from, say, Ambat or for common understanding rheumatoid arthritis can be managed only with one single medication. Sometimes we have to do this Swedan and all those things, and we cannot just for the sake of the methodology, we have to stop the treatment. That scientifically people are accepting, and my submission to the panel is that most of the times we are becoming defensive to accept what they are conducting their trial with the methodology is the best trial. There are other scientific trial methodologies which can be employed for Ayurveda, and we have to advocate that. So, if we don't advocate that, then we are compelled to conduct trials what they are expecting the trials to be done with the modern pharmaceuticals. So, for example, in my case of antihypertensive clinical trial, uh, we expected that if we add it with, say, Nitya Virechan, means some sort of medication where Virechan is happening with the patient, it increases the efficacy. Then the first question our institutional research review board or say institutional ethical committee posed us, how you establish that your medicine is working or the working itself is working. So we said that, see, if working is working, then everybody who is not taking antihypertensive medicines must get benefit from the working. Because my medicine is working with the working, so I should be allowed to conduct the trial. So this kind of advocacy is required from the fraternity to accept, to compel the modern so-called scientific community to accept that uh, the kind of clinical trial methodology you are trying to impose upon Ayurveda doesn't actually work always with the Ayurvedic intervention, where the holistic approach of treating a patient with medicine, as Ramakansa told, with Ahar and Vihar, everything has a role to play with it, and it is it is doable, and it is also possible to evaluate, and they are accepting that. It is not that they are accepting that. And my personal observation is that most of the times we simply don't try to put a question to them, what is the rule of the game. If the rule of the game is applicable to you, then it is also applicable to me, applicable to us also. So if walking is helping any modern anti-hypertensive drug, then what is the problem? If I am conducting a trial with an Ayurvedic anti-hypertensive solution, and I am also accepting that walking or say dietary modification to be part of my regimen, then they accept that. So slowly Ministry of Ayush is also advocating that we should not target only this randomized and double-blind placebo-controlled trial as only the benchmark of accepting that our medicine is working. We have to think of other factors also as associated factors which are helping in getting the target. And finally, we have to accept that it is the result that the person who is coming to us as a patient or as a health seeking individual, what he is getting. So, in whichever manner we are giving it, if we are giving it, then it must be accepted. So, this clinical trial methodology is also slowly evolving to, incorporate multiple factorial assessments processes. And I think with the time they will also accept that we should not just restrict all the clinical trials to this double-blind, randomized, and placebo-controlled trials. This is how we are trying to solve this. Thank you, ma'am.
You are absolutely right, Dr. Rath. Clinical validation is indeed a challenging but necessary step for global acceptance, as you might rightly pointed out. And it is also encouraging to hear about the progress being made. This also helps how clinical trials are being adapted to the Ayurvedic methodologies, and this can benefit at the global level. My next question is to Dr. Anu. How can Ayurveda contribute to research on health policies, especially in areas where modern healthcare has limitations? And what research methodologies are best suited to demonstrate the efficacy of Ayurvedic practices? Dr. Anu.
Thanks, Dr. Meenakshi. So I would say Ayurveda can contribute significantly to the health policy research, particularly the area where modern healthcare have the limitations, such as like chronic disease management, preventive care, and holistic wellness. So the way we can, Ayurveda can integrate into research policy, like for example, holistic approach. We can take an example of holistic approach. Ayurveda emphasize the holistic view of health, considering physical, mental, spiritual well-being. Like we can look into psychoneuroendocrine immunology concept, right? So this perspective can help shape the policy that promote the comprehensive health strategy. So the number two, I would say, chronic disease management. We can focus on the lifestyle and preventive care, where Ayurveda can provide alternative strategies for managing the chronic diseases like diabetes, hypertension. Obesity is one of the biggest challenge even in US, right? And in my understanding, India has already taken initiative to do the bringing Ayurveda in a public health model using the clinic. They conducting two research study on this diabetes management, actually, for preventive aspect of the diabetes. I just launched the two of those research study. Then another one is cultural competency. I'm very much interested to see this aspect happening here in at least in US or maybe in India later, because traditional and African healthcare system, they got this successful model integrating their healthcare system in a cultural competency section. When it embed this into the cultural competency, there is more chance that the public can accept it. Public is accepting it more because it's part of their day-to-day lifestyle practices. And the third one, definitely, as I have explained earlier, research can evaluate the cost effectiveness of Ayurvedic intervention compared to the standard of care alone, and then potentially offering the budget-friendly alternative to the healthcare system. And that's where I think Ayurveda is going to grow more in this country. We need to conduct the study where we can compare the cost effective analysis with the general conventional intervention or any other healthcare modality intervention, and in combination with Ayurveda, what is that difference we see from the perspective of cost. And then again, the studying integration of Ayurveda with modern medical practices, which can lead more comprehensive treatment protocol and that leverage the both the system. So yeah, I think these are the things I would say how we can play a role. But the part to answer your second question, what kind of research methodology? Of course, we are familiar with the RCT, but we don't have to go RCT itself, right? There are a lot of debates on that. RCT is not a good model for the alternative medicine research or especially the traditional healthcare practices. But RCT can be done, it can be conducted to evaluate the specific Ayurvedic treatment against the standard of care for various conditions, providing the rigorous evidence, for the efficacy of we need to have something efficacy and effectiveness research, actually looking into that model. Cohort studies can be done, like longitudinal studies can be done, tracking the patients who use Ayurvedic treatment and can help assessing the long-term outcome. We need to have that long-term outcome and effectiveness in a real world setting. And those kind of studies really play a role in the policy level changes, and systematic review and meta-analysis. Unfortunately, we don't have that many systematic review and meta-analysis happening in Ayurveda. But when you look at the evidence pyramid, research evidence pyramid, those are higher level, systematic review and meta-analysis give the highest level of evidence. So it's something, we all Ayurvedic practitioner, we have to work on it to create more data under the, that type of a model, research methodology. Another one, I would say qualitative research, interview and focus group can provide. Many of the traditional healthcare practice do the focus group based research. And that is also provide insight into the patient experience and perception of Ayurvedic treatment and highlighting their acceptability and cultural relevance. Those are the important, I would say capture those data is very important. And mixed method approach also can be done, combining quantitative and qualitative research can offer a comprehensive view of the efficacy and impact of the Ayurvedic practices. What else? I talked about survey, I think. Then another one, practice-based research. That is also very interesting. Many of the healthcare practice are very much into practice-based research, PBR. I don't think Ayurveda, we are there yet. We don't have I worked with one of the chiropractic section practice-based research group in one of the paper, and it's so amazing how much funding they get from their organization to support the practice-based research. So engaging the communities in research can help tailor the Ayurvedic practices to the specific population. And then we can ensure that these interventions are culturally appropriate and effective. And as I mentioned, health economic studies are very most needed for any kind of healthcare practices when it is emerging. And if you want to bring into the mainstream of practice, health economic studies are needed. So evaluating the cost effectiveness and economic impact of Ayurvedic treatment compared to the conventional approach or compared to any other healthcare model, healthcare practices, which can inform many of the policy decisions. So to conclude, I would say, integration of Ayurveda into health policy research require a multidisciplinary approach, okay? Leveraging, qualitative methodology. And we can focus on the unique strength of Ayurveda and address the limitation. We don't want to say Ayurveda has everything. I won't say that, we have our own limitation. So it's very important, we have to address the limitation, and policymakers can create more effective and inclusive health strategies. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Anu. Very well said. Health policy research is a powerful tool, actually, for shaping, in the Western world, healthcare framework. And we need to do a lot as Ayurveda practitioners also. And you rightly said that Ayurveda cannot do everything. So if we can focus on preventative, especially in the West, until we develop the tools where we can convince the policy makers and educate them on the treatment part also, we should do our part. Over to you, Dr. Gauri.
Thank you so much, Vaidya Meenakshi. So my next question is for Dr. Suhas and the digital health and telemedicine platforms. Digital platforms and telemedicine are reshaping global healthcare. How can Ayurvedic practitioners leverage these platforms to reach underserved populations? What opportunities and risks do you see in the digital transformation of Ayurvedic healthcare? Dr. Suhas.
Thank you, Dr. Gauri. I think we are in an age probably where we are always having the influence of the recent technology and the digital innovations. And that's why probably the focus theme of this year's World Ayurveda Congress at Dehradun, the 10th World Ayurveda Congress, is the digital health itself. Because that's a time which we have to implement or we have to engage in using such newer innovations, technology for the people. Because if you look at the diversity of the population, especially like the country like India, where there are a lot of remote areas where people do not have access to health, at least few of the areas where we can really help. I think we always focus on like maybe the secondary prevention, tertiary prevention, or healthcare management. But what Ayurveda can really offer is in the primary healthcare, where we are trying to probably prevent everybody in taking care of their health. Because most of the time we try to invest on diseases, like when we try to suffer with disease and then we try to invest on diseases. But if we invest on health or invest on taking care that we manage, and for which I think we can take care of this digital various platforms. In fact, Government of India, Ministry of Ayush has a very powerful digital platform now, something called as Ayush Grid, which has various strong platform of trying to give a lot of information about the health and wellness. They also have something called as Namaste portal, which gives you the codes for the mortality and the morbidity as per the international standards, which also has been taken forward by ICD 11, the supplementary chapter on the second module, which has been recently been launched. Because these terminologies are very, very important, and this can be utilized across the globe for the standardizations. Other important initiatives that is taken here, like we have the research portals, like we have the Ayush research portals, which are available, which can be used for the people to know what is happening in Ayurveda, what are the different types of evidences, what are the different, like there are grade 1, grade 2, grade 3 levels of evidences that has been segregated. Like there is also preclinical, clinical, different phases of clinical evidences that are available in such platforms. It's a time where probably we should also generate some apps or like, there are wearables, there are telemedicines, which are really picking up. And if we can bring up with some quality digital initiatives, helping people to identify their health and giving them apt, personalized tips, that could be a really great moments. At the same time, because they all, Ayurveda strongly believes in personalized medicine, so probably like there is Darshana, Sparshana, and Prashna are the three modes of diagnosis. Definitely, this should not be taken as just a guidance and try to apply in everyone. Definitely, it should be under the supervision of the experienced doctors. At least once they want to implement at the next level, maybe at the very basic level of prevention, of course, yes. But when they want to implement at the next level, it should always be under the guidance of some Ayurveda Vaidyas or experts.
Thank you so much, Dr. Suhas. And I definitely agree that, having digital health or telemedicine platforms could definitely help leveraging and reaching the underserved populations as well. So my next question is for Dr. Anupama on the impact on central health access. Ayurveda focuses on maintaining balance in an individual's health. How can public health initiatives be designed to impact the central health access, mind, body, and spirit of individuals through Ayurveda? Dr. Anupama.
Okay, thanks, Dr. Devi. So, designing any kind of public health initiative that incorporate Ayurveda's holistic approach to the health, right? Whenever we talk about Ayurveda, it's a body, mind, spirit approach. And I would say that require comprehensive strategies. I'm actually attending a conference now. I'm very much surprised to see that there is a medicine coming now, body, mind, spirit medicine. And it's not Ayurveda. So I don't know how we, it is now intuitionary medicine is coming, and it's unimaginable now what is happening in the world. So we have to come up with the comprehensive strategies and several ways to effectively structure this initiative. Otherwise, we may lose our identity. I don't know. So you might have heard about whole health. And I would say Ayurveda is the first healthcare practice to introduce whole health concept. And we were not mentioned anywhere when the communities are talking about whole health, right? And so, yeah, I don't know how to come out of this thing, but maybe many people start to talk about it. Many of us need to start talk about this term instead of just Vata, Pitta, Kapha. We have to talk about these terminology, and then say that yes, our healthcare system have this thing. It is part of Ayurvedic medicine. Like, to answer the focusing on maintaining balance in an individual health and how public health initiative can design. So I would say that workshop and seminar offer community-based workshop that teach the principle of Ayurveda, emphasize the importance of balancing the body, mind, and spirit. Topic can include within that guide Ayurvedic nutrition, stress management, daily routine. We have to give that to the public more and more. And digital platform, create an online courses, resources that provide the accessible information on Ayurveda practices and encourage individuals to incorporate them into their daily lives. And another model will be integrative wellness center, establish the wellness clinic, develop the clinic that provide the integrative care, combining Ayurveda and maybe Ayurveda and conventional medicine practice combination. Maybe that may help us to have more visibility. These community health initiatives we can do, such as mobile health unit. And I heard that within US also, one of the graduate from studied from this country, she or he started a mobile health unit for Ayurveda that deliver Ayurvedic services and education and for underserved community. That's where we can, it's very important we have to bring Ayurveda into the underserved population. Otherwise, for an Ayurvedic practitioner, when a patient comes, the average practice fee in US vary from $75 up to $500, right? We all know it. And you add herbs into that, it's another $200 or $150. So it's not covered under any of insurance. So that's why the sustainability is difficult, because patient may come first time, second time, unless they are completely, oh, I have to get, something really, really serious, they may continue. Otherwise, after some time, there is a tendency that they discontinue the herbs because everybody's struggling in their life. They have to take care of their family, kids' education, everything. And spending every month $800 to $900 out of pocket can be challenging sometimes. So we cannot reach Ayurveda. We cannot give Ayurveda to the underserved community. That's a huge, huge population. And it's important to create those initiatives within Ayurveda to take this into the public health sector. And mindfulness and stress reduction program. It's not just for yoga. Ayurveda also have that, I would say. Ayurvedic practices bring that the spirituality in Ayurveda. It's not about the religious aspect of Ayurveda. I would say spirituality in Ayurveda is about the consciousness-based approach to the life, right? It's very important to have that. Now, if you see more and more research coming in spirituality in healthcare practices, because people understood this, just taking medicine alone won't be enough. Just doing exercise alone won't be enough. Just combination of the diet, medicine, herbs won't be enough. We are looking into what is next. Why is our healthcare cost is expensive, getting higher and higher every year? So there is some other factor playing a role in the disease management. Something is not working. So that's where I was looking into in Ayurvedic literature, or what is that suffering? Why are we suffering? What is that cause? Why the disease management, what we are giving is not enough to help the patient to come out of it, right? So there is a factor, you may be knowing, kleshas, kleshas, the suffering. Suffering is another synonym for disease in Ayurveda, right? So it is explaining in Patanjali Yoga Sutra, explains not knowing who we are. And we sometimes narrate ourselves with the stories around us, with the experience around us. And or we have the affinity towards the things what we really like, or we stay away from the things what we don't like, and fear of death. All these are the causes of suffering. So the spirituality in Ayurveda is, having this understanding. It's difficult to talk to the patient all these things, but somewhere, I'm sure, it's my feeling, I feel that down the line, the consciousness-based approach to the life is going to be embedded into the clinical practice setting. And that's where going to make a huge impact. That's where Ayurveda will be playing a major role in the healthcare practice, actually. And so do mind-body workshop, personalized health plan, individualized, individual assessment, provide the assessment based on Ayurvedic principle, determine the individual's constitution and imbalance. We are P for medicine. Ayurveda is, I would say, another one of the first healthcare practice to introduce the P for medicine, participatory, personalized, preventive, right? All that, we have that person-centric medicine. So we need to talk about it. We need to bring that. Our healthcare system, there is no shortcut. We explain Pathya. We explain the lifestyle. Patient is the center for our healing practices, right? It's not just you take the medicine, go home and take the pill, you'll be fine. Maybe patient may feel better. That's why if we look at the classical literature, even if we have the explanation about the placebo effect, I was surprised to know about it. Even our literature has talking about the placebo effect. So medicine may have effective, diet may have effect, the combination may have a better effect, right? So and another one is community garden. That is another public health in it. We have a lot of kitchen spices. We can bring Ayurveda into the community health sector, where we promote the community gardening initiative to encourage the cultivation of Ayurvedic herbs and vegetables, fostering a connection to the food and health. The moment individuals feel that connection, there is a more chance that they are going to implement that into their lifestyle. And cultural and spiritual engagement. Here again, we need to remind spirituality is not religious. Here, this word spirituality is about that consciousness-based approach to the life. Integrate the local tradition, incorporate local cultural practices and belief to the health initiative, and enhance the community acceptance and participation. Whenever we bring any kind of public health initiative, if we can embed that into the cultural or community level, much more acceptance will be there. And then, the last one, I would say collaborative research, and we need to create evidence how it is working, all these things, engage in research that examine the effectiveness of all these things, what I have mentioned earlier, and use this data to inform the policy making, and partnership with academic institution for implementation. I would say these are the different way we can do it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ramama. I think these were all wonderful insights as well. And now I would have Vaidya Meenakshi again take over for the last set of questions.
Thank you, Dr. Gauri. My next question is to Dr. Ramakant. Again, I'm going to request everybody to keep the answer 1 or 2 minutes only, please. Ayurveda takes a holistic approach to health by addressing the mind-body approach. How this approach complement conventional treatments in chronic disease management, especially for elder population? Dr. Ramakant, sir.
Can you repeat once? I think. Can you repeat?
Yes. Ayurveda takes a holistic approach to health by addressing the mind-body approach. How can this approach complement conventional treatments in chronic diseases management, especially for elderly population?
Okay. That is very important actually, because Ayurveda also always adopts a kind of holistic approach for the management. You will find that whenever there is a chronic type of case, And as a general practice, we find that in Ayurveda, chronic cases are also already the patients who are suffering from chronic diseases. They are in abundance as far as our practice is concerned. So every person, whether it is chronic diabetic or chronic hypertensive or chronic arthritis or chronic skin problem, any patient which comes to us, he might have some kind of psychological symptoms also. So it becomes very important to them to manage its psyche also, his mind also. So we have to go for some kind of, as earlier panelists were telling, that spirituality and all that. So that is the important part, but it is sometimes it is may not be possible at the hospital setup, in a private practice setup, or when you can apply much more time to the patient. That is possible, but it may not be possible in many hospital setups, like us, having a lot and lot of patients coming to our OPDs. So, but still, that part cannot be ignored, and we are always trying to tell them that follow this. So that is a really integrated part of our approach. Simultaneously, in chronic cases, we are applying medicines, ahar, vihar, and aushadhi. That is the key factor, but also yoga we are applying. We are applying panchkarma procedures like any shirodhara and other that soothing procedures to patients, and that collective approach gives the result, not only one medicine. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. My next question is to Dr. Rath regarding the pharmacovigilance. With the global interest in natural and herbal medicines, what systems are in place to ensure the safety and efficacy of Ayurvedic treatments? Dr. Rath?
And thank you, Dr. Gupta. Actually, this question is very pertinent, because the moment any system or any medicines gains popularity, then there will be some propaganda to run it down. So the most common running down mechanism that we come across is that this traditional medicine system or the traditional medicinal herbs has some safety issues, and they are not addressed. So WHO in 2000, as far as 2004, in its Eris declaration, has declared that all the traditional medicines, they also must come under the pharmacovigilance ambit. And India, being a signatory to the WHO Health Assembly, in 2007 started the pharmacovigilance mechanism in India for Ayurvedic and Siddha and Unani and homeopathic medicines, as it is popularly known as pharmacovigilance for ASU and H. And there are other medicinal systems which are existing in Ayush, but they are basically non-medicinal or non-substance based medicine system, so they did not come under the ambit of pharmacovigilance. And as an individual, I always advocated that the definitions that this Ayurveda or so-called Indian system of knowledge offered was more appropriate and more broad, that any changes with the time that they could be incorporated. Because pharmacovigilance said that it is the science that deals with the adverse drug reaction. So if during my treatment any drug is not involved, so the physician was confused whether to report it or not, or whether to say whether there is a problem or not. But if you look at the Ayurvedic classics, they have said that the entire therapeutic regimen, if there is a problem, that comes under the term called, which is we know as Vyapat. Whether it is Aushadh Vyapat, or in Panchkarma it is Vaman Vyapat, Virejan Vyapat, like that they have told it. So in 2008, during that time, the ministry was not existing. We were part of the Ministry of Health, Government of India. But in 2008, it started as the pharmacovigilance project for ASU, Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani and Homeopathic medicines in India. For 10 years, it ran as a project which was funded by the WHO till 2018. And in 2018, ministry took the cognizance that because it is still running in a project mode and the participation still is in voluntary mode, so most of the times we are not able to counter the allegation that most of the possible suspected ADRs that is happening during Ayurvedic or other traditional system of medicine treatment is not getting reported. So in 2018, ministry took it on itself, and we just converted the project into the program mode without any finite end to the pharmacovigilance program in Ayurveda. So right now, from 2018, we are running a pharmacovigilance program of the Ministry of Ayush, in which 100 peripheral pharmacovigilance centers are working in different states of India, and with a mandate that every state should have a peripheral pharmacovigilance center. And there are 5 intermediary vigilance centers, and there is a national pharmacovigilance center located at All India Institute of Ayurveda, Delhi. So the main focus of this pharmacovigilance program is that if there is any if there is any problem during any treatment in this Ayush systems, it must be reported to the systems. So it is not limiting itself to only to the medicine related medicine, I mean adverse drug reaction. Suppose there is a problem, which even if the physician feels that it has nothing to do with my medicine, still then it can be reported. And the second component is that the misleading advertisement. I don't know how much it happens in the Western media or other media in the other parts of the globe. In India, a lot of uh, advertisement does take place in media, where it says that Ayurveda can do miracles. That is also being monitored now. That you cannot claim that by taking Ayurvedic medicine, all the miracles can happen. And in the last 6 years, we have done a lot of things. As I was discussing you, there was a reported information regarding Guduchi or this Trinospora in during the COVID phase, that it is causing hepatic damage. Then the common response came that it is an incorrect species that they are using for the Guduchi Ganapati. But my personal opinion was that it was a highly defensive statement that we made as a fraternity. The problem is that there are international guidelines, there are international pharmacovigilance protocol in place. So the rules are same for all system of medicine, whether it is Ayurvedic medicine, whether it is Western medicine, whether it is Unani medicine, the rules are the same. Anything less than 2% occurrence doesn't merit any analysis as per the international pharmacovigilance guidelines. And we got only 6 case studies which said that people who consumed Guduchi Ganapati for perceived benefits of immunomodulation had some kind of issues with the some kind of issue is their renal health. And if we see the batch, then more than 3 lakhs people consumed Guruji Ganapati from the same batch. So if only 6 people had problem, and without going into the scientific details, it doesn't merit any analysis as per the international pharmacovigilance protocols, because it is less than 2%. But still, we had to face the international media, what you call propaganda, that Ayurvedic medicines are causing problem, and we tried to what you call counter that. But you know that lot of lobbying is taking place, and that is not correct. So right now, what we are trying to say that we have a pharmacovigilance system which is in place and which is independent and which is not actually feeding into the WHO Uppsala program of pharmacovigilance. We are running it as a standalone program, and whatever is the suspected area, we are accepting it. And at least in India, we are in a position now, on basis of the 6 years of hard work, that to say that this is the real information that we have. We have pharmacovigilance centers which are accepting any suspected what you call problem with any treatment, and we are addressing that. So in the last 6 years, 6 years of experience, we have not come across any information, including the so-called heavy metallic preparations, to actually cause a problem which needs, analysis as per the international pharmacovigilance protocol. Still, we analyzed it, and we didn't only in 2 cases, because I am not very what we call I am not authorized to share all the information, but we got only 3 suspected adverse drug reaction reports where the medicine needed to be withdrawn at the physician level. Otherwise, the physician continued with the treatment, and we analyzed those data. So after that, nothing needs to be withdrawn, including any heavy metallic preparation. As I was discussing with Dr. Meenakshi few days back, even the so-called global propaganda, if I may so the mispropaganda that all heavy metallic preparation are causing renal damage and something like that, we don't have any scientific or any credible information to suggest that people who are consuming this heavy metal containing preparation are actually had what you call renal issues. The data that has been reported as per international protocol, they need not to be analyzed further, because the occurrence or the frequency of the information that we came across, it is less than 0.001%, whereas the international protocol demands us that you must analyze if it is goes beyond 2%. So sometimes we become very defensive, but at the same time, we also acknowledge there must be some mechanism to monitor what is happening with our medicines, and we must come out with into public with information, data-based information, that this is what we are trying to do. And after this 2008 to 2014 means 16 years of journey in pharmacovigilance in Ayush, of which I have always been a part of it. There is nothing. I am very responsibly accepting it that there is nothing as per international protocol of pharmacovigilance in concerning to our Ayush medicine which needed actual analysis. Still, then we analyzed it, and none of these our medicine, none of our medicine needed to be withdrawn, or prescription guidelines are required to be done. So this is what we are doing, Dr. Gupta. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rath, for shedding the light on the importance of safety and efficacy in Ayurvedic treatments, and also with the rise in global demand for natural and herbal medicine, pharmacovigilance becomes essential to build trust and ensure consumer safety. Thank you for sharing all the details. Now, I would like to wrap up this session quickly with one question from all the panelists with one word answer. Dr. Suhas, what is the best Ayurvedic practice you believe everyone should adapt for better public health? This is our rapid fire question.
I think we should focus on preventive healthcare management.
Thank you. Dr. Ramakant, in one word, what is the future of Ayurveda in global healthcare?
Future is very bright as far and evidence has to be generated.
Thank you. Dr. Rath, what is the most important technology that will drive Ayurveda forward?
I'm afraid that technology should be kept apart from Ayurveda. This is a very basic science. Unnecessarily, we try to complicate things. people have forgotten that to wake up early in the morning is the biggest mantra to remain healthy, and to sleep early is the biggest mantra to remain healthy. So we have already seen in this world that lot of technological advancements actually is leading to war. So we should try to remain as close to earth as earth as close as remain to earth. My 5 points for bringing the health for all in a global sector is that you have to align your wake up routine with the sun. Then you have to eat when we are angry, when you are hungry, and you have to do some kind of routine exercises, and you have to sleep early. And final point is that you must get rid of these your sensory engagements while going to sleep. You cannot sleep just watching the TV, because my target when I am asking someone to sleep is that they must get rid of their sensory engagements, and that person is actually going into the sleep while he is engaged in the sleep. So most of the times my patients who come to me, they dream in the night after sleeping that what happened in the web series. That is not the way to go forward if you want to remain healthy. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rath. Dr. Anu, in one word, what excites you most about Ayurveda role in future healthcare?
The most needed thing, there are so many factors, I said, but the most needed for the current time is research and evidence generation. And then we can start with the preventive care when it comes to the public health. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Now over to Dr. Deepa. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Deepa.
Thank you, Meenakshi. That was such a wonderful panel discussion we had. And thank you everyone for joining us today for this insightful panel on future of public health with Ayurveda. We hope it was informative and inspiring. So encouraging to see so many developments happening globally, and appreciate the suggestions made by our panelists for creating initiations and more innovations in the field of Ayurveda. As we are concluding this session, let us reaffirm our commitment to promoting and preserving the rich heritage of Ayurveda. Let us inspire others to embrace its teachings and the principles of Ayurveda. May it guide us towards a healthier, happier, and more fulfilling life. We extend our sincere gratitude to our esteemed speakers, Dr. Ramakant Yadavji, Vaidya Sudeep Rathji, Dr. Suhas Kumar Shetty, and our own Vaidya Anupamaji for sharing your valuable knowledge and expertise. Special mention to our moderators for managing the whole session so smoothly. We also want to thank our team who worked tirelessly to make this event a very success. Please feel free to reach out to us with any questions or feedback. We look forward to connecting with you again, hosting more such informative events in the future. We also encourage you to subscribe our newsletter for regular updates. Please do visit our AAP website at aapusa.com. Become a member or volunteer. You can always help support AAP in its mission and also avail of its various educational opportunities. I strongly believe that together we will make a difference, and let us grow as a community and collaborate for a bright and healthy future of Ayurveda in US. Sarve Janaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Thank you very much, one and all, and have a wonderful day. And good night for those who joined from India and across the globe. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
ma'am.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
And
you.
please do avail the benefit of the free membership we are still offering.
Thank you so much.